Hello and welcome back to Minecraft All the Mods 10. I've got this area set up for our additional machinery, and we had our first success with the old lens of the miner here. We got ourselves an ancient debris. Now, I'm not going to use this steel pickaxe to get it. I'm going to use the netherite with the Fortune 3. Do. Oh, right, it dropped as ancient debris. Duh. I forgot that that was actually how it worked. For some reason, I thought it was going to drop scrap. All right, well, I'm going to stick that in there, turn you back on, and let you finish these out. That way, it will actually go ahead and pick them up, so I don't need to really worry about that fortune, since it doesn't drop like that. Anyway, we're going to let that continue doing its thing, at least until it runs out of netherite, which isn't going to take much longer, but we have some other stuff to deal with today. So as you might have seen, I have Entro pulled up because we need one of these, an Entro seed. And why that is, so right-click a Fluix block to turn it into Entronized Fluix budding, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, the reason I'm going to need that is because we are running out of... Okay, hang on. I got to get rid of the rain in the night because that's going to annoy me. There we go. We are running out of space in the pattern providers already. Specifically this one. You can see I only have 3 spots left. I've barely touched this. So we are going to need to make the extended version, which requires that. So, I think I had it set up in the one upstairs. That's why I was heading up to begin with. Was to grab this. There we go. You can see Ender Dust, which we just get from macerating the pearls, skystone dust from the skystone, redstone, glowstone, sand. Boom, Entro seeds. There we go. Now I am going to need some Fluix blocks. We might as well grab 2 since I have 2 of these seeds. Where am I going to put them? I think right here. I don't know how well this is going to go. Budding fully entronized Fluix. Budding fully entronized Fluix. Alright. I don't know if these decay over time or what, but we have just about all the stuff we need to make more seeds, except for the stone. The sky stone might prove to be an issue later, but if it does, we can always take care of it. We are up to 2 of the Insanium blocks now. I did go through and get all the essences down. We actually have another one of the Insanium essences as well. So we are a quarter of the way to making, and, basically making infinite Aldomadium, which I think was the point of this. I might actually call the series after that and obtaining some vibranium, because there's not a lot of point after that, it has to be said. We're going to let that do its thing, though. While we are doing that... Oh, this is almost done. Let me just wait on this here a minute. And then we can shut that off so it's not making noise in the background, because we will be out of the old netherrack. Bam. Alright, there we go. Alright. So we are going to need to do a few other things here. Now, obviously, we have this electric mixer. I don't really have any recipes in it yet because a lot of the stuff is going to require fluids. Well, currently, we don't really have a way of handling fluids with our ME system. These are all regular drives. So let's start with that. We are going to need another drive. That's the wrong place to put that in. Drive. Alright. ME drive. There we go. Oh, I am out of cables. I'm probably out of these. Let's go ahead and grab like a stack. And then we go ahead and do that. And there you go. Let's grab like 2. There we go, just to make sure we have enough. Don't need to really be wandering about with that. Alright, so we have another drive. Boom. Plugged in. This one we can fill with fluid drives. Or fluid. Those aren't called drives. Those are called cells. There we go. Fluid cell. Alright. I'm going to go with the 16K again. So we are going to need to do... Have I set this up to do... I haven't. Should I? Becomes the question. This guy's almost full as well. And yes, I could add more of them to this, but having them bigger is also good as well. That's why I'm kind of giving that a bit of thought. You know what? Let's just go ahead and... Actually, do I have the stuff for more of the 4K cells? Yeah, I had some of those left over. I do have enough. That is interesting. Alright, I am out of quartz glass. We can fix that. Make a stack, or... Oh, well, I'm out of glass. I'm going to have to get more of that going. You... There we go, and a 16K cell. We're going to need more of the fluid storage cells than just the one, because these have an 18 type limit, but the 16K is plenty big, because it... I don't know exactly how it counts it by. I think it counts it by, like, the full bucket. So, that is plenty. So, now our system is capable of importing and exporting fluids. Well, since it can do that, we might as well actually set it up to do so, right? Only makes sense. So let's get an import bus. Helps if I put it in the correct field. Yes, I know there's a way to sync them, but I don't like them being synced. Import-export bus. Interesting. That's something that might prove useful at some point. I just want the old-fashioned import bus. So, let's get a piston. Can we go with the... What was it called? I just saw it. It's a catalyst right now. That's going to be... Formation core. Make one, please. Alright. What was I looking at? I was looking at the import bus. Alright, import. Why did you not... Oh, you know what? Because that's the wrong core. I needed the annihilation core. There we go. Import bus. Alright, we have an import bus. Let's get that. Let's grab our cable. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Alright. So where am I going to put this? I'm tempted to put it like right here, to be perfectly honest. Just be like, here we go. Because this is going to basically be my kind of catch-all, I need fluids imported into the system thing. And the first thing I'm going to import, if I come all the way up here, I have this singularity tank of creosote. And I'm pretty sure I can just pick it up like that. It retains its inventory. There is a bunch more creosote in there, although apparently not completely full. Interesting. We're going to let this import into the system so that the system will have creosote. We'll let that do its thing. And we're going to also get ourselves set up with a storage bus. Storage bus, which requires an interface. Excellent. That's the import bus. Where's my storage bus? There you are. I need 2 pistons. Weird that it is just saying piston. Alright, let's, oh, hang on. Clear. Give me that. Get in there. Normally that's like a sticky piston and a normal piston. Weird that it is just doing it that way. Like I said, this pack has modified a bunch of recipes. Like this endo stuff, I've played other packs. That stuff isn't even in it, and definitely not needed for the extended pattern things. All right, so we have a storage bus. You might be like, hey, what are we doing with the storage bus? Are we storing something? Well, yes, we're storing something. We are, in fact, storing something. And I need... Can I make one? It's the question. We're going to make a sink. I need terracotta, so I need clay. Do I have any in here? I do. I have plenty. Let's just go ahead and cook twice as much as we need. Because that should... Yeah, there we go. Excellent. We only need 5. We're going to cook 10, just for no reason. Oh yeah, I went and got a whole bunch of iron and stuff made too. Because I was getting a little low. Alright. Hang on. You go in there so you don't get used for this. Sink. I apparently had a water bucket in there already, so excellent. Alright, so we have a sink. Where am I going to put the sink? Well, I think down here again so I can go off some of the lesser used cables. I could just kind of... Yeah, you know what? Let's just do this. Storage bus. Sink. Alright. I have... It counts as that much water. So we have our infinite water, but it is not filling up our disk. That is why I did it this way. So it is recognizing that there is a whole ton of water there. It is not using up disk space. I'm going to pick up this singularity tank again and go put it back where it was so we can get the remaining creosote out, because we are going to need that creosote. Alright, we'll let it empty into the system again. I will put it back so that it once again has more storage. Unfortunately, for the moment, we're going to have to just kind of do anything related to the creosote manually, but we don't need it for a whole lot. So, the lubricant is basically the main thing we need it for. So we're going to do that. Alright, let's do this. We have fluid in the system. Our system is able of handling a bunch of different types of fluid, which is important because we want lubricant. Lube. Alright, lubricant. We want mixer. We want this creosote with redstone to lubricant. Now, see, we don't have naphtha, we don't have plant oil. How do I make plant oil, by the by? Centrifuge? I mean, being able to centrifuge... Oh, I could just centrifuge some saplings. That's tempting. I'm going to say that's tempting, maybe in the future. But for right now, we're going to do this. We are going to encode that pattern. And that will be our first pattern for the mixer. Now, see, I've held off on our cutting machine because it needs lubricant. But now I can go to our cutting machine recipes, like, say, our steel rods, and go, hey, steel rod. I need steel rod from... Where's the cutting machine? There you are, cutting machine. Boom. There we go. And now, our electric cutting machine can make the steel rods. So yeah, I needed to do that because we still need to get our next 3 machines, which are going to be the macerator, the furnace, and the centrifuge. So, let's take a look at that. At mod, elect... Nope. There shouldn't have been a space there. There we go. Okay. So now we are looking at these guys. So we need, not that, light electric, that's interesting. Electric packard, electric mixer, no, we've got that. Macerator, that's expensive, has to be said. We're not going to worry about that just yet. Furnace is also kind of expensive. These magnetic cupronickel wires are not used for a whole lot. but they are used for this. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then where's our centrifuge? It might not be part of this because it's not called an electric centrifuge. You have to have the electricity before the centrifuge becomes available. All right, it's this. So I'm going to take a few moments here, get a bunch of stuff programmed as far as I can, and then we'll come back and get those machines made. See you in a moment. Alright, I am back. I have just made a little bit of diamond dust because we're getting ready to make our electric macerator. I went ahead and made the Invar gear by hand. I went ahead and made more of the copper nickel wires by hand as well. Because those aren't things we're going to need lots of. So I figure, we'll make it as we need it rather than program it in. Like almost all of this stuff. So we've got pistons, motors, basic machine hulls, analog circuits, all of their constituent components, all programmed in to various bits. I did end up having to make 2 more of the pattern providers because, this one is full, this one is full, and that one I needed 1 more space, basically. So those will get upgraded, they will get used. So that's not too big a worry. So let's get this macerator done. Right, so we are going to want to get some of these parts done. So to start, we're going to make 2 of these basic machine hulls. Look at that. It's going to craft all of this stuff. It says it's ready to do it. Let's click the button, and we can kind of watch the status here, see exactly what it's doing. So the stuff that's green is the stuff that is currently being crafted. Look at it go. It's doing all that. It is waiting on nothing now. Okay. So we should have 2 basic machine hulls because we're going to need one for the macerator. We're going to need one for the furnace, wherever that is. There we go. All right, let's get the furnace done. We're going to need 2 analog circuits and some tin cables. So let's do the analog circuits. Analog circuits, 2 please. Thank you. And this is basically, same thing. That's done before I can even check it out. And then tin cables. Tin cables are going, those make them in 3s, so we'll just say that. There we go. All right, that is going to be our furnace, because like I said, I made those magnetic copper nickel things in advance. Furnace, right there. We're still going to need the pattern stuff for it. That's fine, we can get that in a minute. All right, now we need our macerator. We already have that. We need 2 pistons, 2 motors, an analog circuit. And then we'll probably end up needing to make more tin cables because that stuff will probably get used in the process. So let's see. Let's start with our pistons because the pistons use motors as a component. So we want to do those first. We are short on steel. Well, that's okay. I think I had another stack made already, and I can get another stack cooking. There's a reason why I had been cooking up all that iron. Yeah, see, I have some steel. Boom. Let's go ahead and grab you, and there you go. We're going to make some more steel. Right, where were we? Right, we were making, pistons. So let's see. Piston, 2, next, go. And this is just going to kind of go through the whole process. Now, obviously, as things get more complex and need more machines involved and more, items, it's going to take a little bit longer, but this is pretty darn quick. We're waiting on that magnetic rod. Done, done, done. All right, so now we are going to need some motors. Motor 2, next, go. And it's even crafting that lubricant as needed and just putting it in the cutting machine. So that is all awesome as well. Yeah, we're stuck waiting on that. But let's see, what was that last item we needed? 2 more of the analog circuits, of course. Now, since we only have 1 processing unit, we can only really do 1, what's it called? Request at a time. So like I'm requesting 2, it can do 2 just fine, but I can't request this and something else. So at least so long as the bytes used is not bigger than what we have available, which we have 16 available. So That should be fine, and here we go. We're just kind of crafting these guys up. And it takes into account what's in the system, too. So if I had crafted some of these components in advance, it would be like, oh, I can just use these. There we go, which is also why we didn't want to do the pistons and motors out of order. If I were going to make a lot of these, I would make a pattern of it and just have it make the whole thing. But we're not going to be doing that, so there was no point. All right, we've got 2 of our 3 machines raring and ready to go. Beautiful. We need our 3rd machine, the centrifuge. Which you might be like, why are you bothering with the centrifuge? Because it's going to be slightly easier than doing something else. All right. This is going to require more difficult components. Oh boy, aluminum plates. I can't make more electrum cables yet. We're going to need to set up some more patterns for that. But I'm also not terribly concerned about having it, like, super duper available. Let's get 3 more of these since we're going to need all 3. Let's go ahead and do that. We're probably going to be set for getting the other parts, but this will be 1, 2, 3. It's doing that double click thing. Which this, if I can look, see here, 5 of 32 channels it says. Oh, that's because that's that one, this one. 13 of 32 channels. Are these all online? It should be. I'm not sure why it's saying... oh, because it's... oh, that's got... okay. Okay, I see. Yeah, because that's not a thing, so you don't get the shorter version of it, but that's okay. This is absolutely fine. All right. I'm going to have to set up some more patterns, but as you can see, it takes... so this guy is going to probably be the hard part, because this requires some of the silicon plates. This requires silicon plates. It's the electrum. We're going to have to get all the electrum going. Oh, boy. Yes, yeah, I think we can do that, but we can set this up in the mixer. All right, so we can do a mixer recipe. I'm going to get some more of this stuff going. As you can see, there's a lot of things. So we're going to start using aluminum quite a bit. We'll see how far I can get here, and if I'm either done with this or if the those crystals were growing already, then I'll come back when either one of those things are done. Alright, I am back. I'm going to encode a pattern for the centrifuge. I didn't manage to get everything because, well, right here we've run into a problem. My pattern provider for the compressor is full, and there is a lot of stuff that needs to go in it. Let me, really quick here, just kind of sleep through the night, just so nothing too terrible happens. Alright. So, we are... ooh! Look, these guys are done too, which these are part of the solution to the problem. Let's get these guys picked up. Alright, excellent. We'll let those grow more. We'll come back to that in just a second. Let's get this pattern into one of the slots here. I did end up adding a 4th, so you can see this goes very quickly. Now, fortunately, there is something we can do here. If I go and search for the centrifuge now, I can go, give me 1. And it'll be like, hey, look, this is all the stuff that we're missing. Now, look, I'm missing a bunch of battery alloy, which is mildly annoying, because we're going to need the stuff in order... well, yeah, I'm going to need to program in all of the stuff to make the drills we need in order to get more. But, fortunately, the centrifuge is not integral to our fixing the pattern problem. So maybe we come back to that in a moment. Instead, how about we take a look at this? All right, so what we're looking at here is we want the extended pattern provider, which we need a crystal assembler for. All right, this is a little entro infused ingot. Okay, I didn't look at this part yet. How do I get this? Dust, gold, lapis submerged in water, or in the crystal assembler itself, or a reaction chamber. Okay. Well, water seems good. So the dust, I'm going to assume we will get from crushing. We can grab a couple of that. We can grab a couple of that. I said a couple. There we go. It's that weird double-click thing going on again. So this should make the bits we need for that. I don't know if we have quite enough of this entro crystal yet, but we'll find out. Hey, look, there's some water right here. What if I were to do that? It would all pick back up again because that's the way this stupid thing... No! There. Do your thing. There we go. Alright, see, yeah, it only gave me 2, and I think I needed 4 for this, didn't I? The crystal assembler thing requires extended machine frame. Yeah, it requires 4, so I'm going to have to use all of the stuff I have. But it'll put us... No, that's the wrong thing. It'll put us on the right path to being able to extend our patterns. Well, our pattern providers. You know what I mean. 2 of you. I said 2. There, alright. Grab you, grab you, grab you. We will once again just do that and back. And back off. There we go. We got that. Excellent. Now, so this should get us the extended machine frame, which we need. Do that. There we go. Excellent. Which is then needed for the crystal doohickey, crystal assembler. Alright, so what do we need here? A crafting terminal and a skystone tank. I don't have enough skystone. And I don't think there's any fancy pants. Well, I mean, we could get skystone essence, but again, I'd have to get the skystone to do it. Is there? I don't think there is any other. Yeah, not really. I'll have to go out and get some, that means, which, fortunately, it's not far. I can go get some there. I think that's our closest. Yeah, that's the closest one. Alright, I'll run and grab that. Be right back. Alrighty, a little bit of flight, a little bit of use of the old mining laser, and things are good. That's the wrong direction. I want to go this way. Alright, we got like 36 of this skystone. Should be plenty. That's not the right way either. Zoom. Take a look at how things are going there. Ooh. He's working on that builder's hut still. Looks like he's missing something. We'll have to look at that later. Alright, let's turn that off. Let's go ahead and get that out of there, because it's too much to use for, you know, the everyday stuff. Let's see. We got skystone. Plenty of skystone now. Nope, you're still growing. Unfortunate. Okay. We are going for the old crystal assembler. Skystone's tank. That's easy. There we go. All done there. Get you guys away. We want the old crystal assembler. We're looking at crafting terminal. We are looking at terminal. We are not quite ready to go on that. Core. I have formation. I need annihilation. Please give me a core. Thank you. There we go. ME terminal. And then we're going to need to turn that into ye old crafting terminal. I need a crafting table. Oh, look, I can just tell it to make me one. Thank you. Alright, there's that. And crystal assembler. I'm going to assume it needs power. I don't know if it is going to need a connection. But hey, look, I have this freed up slot. Well, it has power. So I guess there's that. Alright, so what is it actually going to need to make it? No liquids, 3 crafting tables, 3 capacity cards, and just a pattern provider of some sort. This is the thing we're waiting on, the concurrent processor, and some glass cables. Because this requires one of those entro crystals. So we are basically waiting on that for each one. Oh, this actually does decay. That is mildly annoying. Only mildly, but it is mildly annoying. Alright, I will come back in another minute or two, see if we can't get this quite done. I mean, we're past time, but I kind of want to finish something. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm bored of waiting. I'm going to make a growth accelerator. But first, we're going to grab a wooden crank, and then we are going to be like, hey, I want a growth accelerator, please. Thank you, system. Is that not the right side? Oh, there we go. Alright. It'll accept power this way. This should accelerate the block below it. I would really like to accelerate the other one, but you know what? Well, I was going to say let's go ahead and do it, but that started to grow. Alright. I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes doing this instead of just waiting around randomly, or I might be a lot faster than that even. Okay. This might certainly be the way to go for this, then. Of course, I could just plug it in, but there we go. All right, there we go. Got a cluster already. All right, I got 3 that time. Thank you, Fortune 3 Pickaxe. All right, let's just kind of toss 2 of these in. Let them become those. Let those become proper circuits. And into this whole mess goes. This should be enough for 2. Just like that. Extended pattern providers. Now, I could place these down directly, or what I'm going to do is, I think I can just do this with a piece of copper. Yeah. Pattern provider upgrade. That way I can take these, and instead of having to pull everything out and put them back in, blah, 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 I should just be able to walk over here to, like, say, the compressor, and be like, bam, there we go. Now, it is extended. There we go. We've got even more space. And I can start to organize this so I could do things like do that, and then kind of get these set up so that they're all set in that way. All right. That, I think, is going to do it. I didn't quite get to getting the centrifuge set up, but we can do that at the beginning of the next video, because I'm pretty much there other than add some additional patterns. I have the second one. I'll probably end up using it in the interim. I'll show you where next time. What did we accomplish? Well, we not only got 2 of our 3 remaining machines that we wanted set up done, we also got fluid storage handled in the AE system, as well as the auto-crafting with that, and, of course, we got the whole setup for the extended pattern providers, which is pretty good in my book. But that is going to do it for this episode. So, until next time, have a good one.